Alright. Maybe this time I have audio. Let me know. There we go. That's what happens when you are running an app in the background of your live stream. That's my fault entirely. That just shows you I ain't great. I mean, I'm not even sure if I'm good. There's levels to this. As always, I wait till I hit 5 before I say anything. 4. Come on. Someone's got to jump in. Oh, boy. 4. 5. Here we go. Let's do it. So, like, I've been in this flag game for about 7 years now. I've known about it for over 20. But, like, I came from 2 very different eras of this game. And I've been around a lot, so I feel like I know stuff. I guess I do. So, I don't know. It's up to you. Do I know what I'm talking about? Who the fuck knows? But I'm just saying. I feel like the biggest mistake a lot of people make with this flag game is not understanding that it's not as simple as you go out there and play. Like, there's levels to this. Like, different types of levels to this. I relate it to when I was a kid, I thought I was good at basketball. In fact, I didn't think I was just good. I thought I was great. Because I was 5'7", 200 pounds. And on top of that, I was dominating as center every single game. Nobody at Pleasant Valley Elementary School could guard me. Nobody. There was no one who could. I put up 30 points in a game. I was a beast. Like I said, nobody could match up with me in basketball in 1999 at Pleasant Valley Elementary School. And I sat there thinking, you know what? I might make the NBA one day with how good I am. Like, I can't see how I wouldn't. Like, right now, I'm already dominating. And I'm tearing it up at Pleasant Valley Elementary School. That means something. That's big, man. You go through Pleasant Valley and put up 30 points in a game? You must be good. You must be great. What's the competition like? Well, we play against some smaller dudes. I'm the biggest kid in my class by like 4 inches. It's a co-ed game too, so we got some girls in there. I'm the best co-ed basketball player in my 3rd grade class. I'm good. I'm great. Like, nobody could guard me. So you're asking, so why are you not in basketball anymore? Why am I not in basketball anymore? Because everybody outgrew me. They got way taller than I did. Everybody also, managed their weight better. You can't be a successful center when you're 6 foot and about 330 pounds. Like, you can go and say, well, I'm still good at it because, my basketball career didn't end in elementary school. I played in the backyard. I played in Sandy Hook. And, I thought, I'm the best player in Sandy Hook. Like, not many guys can guard me in this game. Like, I used to school these dudes all the time. I was the best in the hook. And I thought to myself, I could probably do this in school, but, I don't know about how it would go. And I never tried again. I was the best in the hook. Sandy Hook, if you want to know what my competition was, skinnier, shorter dudes, and dudes who look like me. Incoming call. Why? Ignore. Why do people try to call when I'm live? That's the one thing that drives me nuts the most, when people call when I'm live. Please stop doing that. Drives me nuts. But, I was the best, I thought. But, I was the best at a certain level. 3rd grade, co-ed, basketball at Pleasant Valley Elementary School. Oh, yeah, man. Joey's the go to that. Basketball after 3rd grade. Less said the better. You know, one time, straight up, I was in gym class. I was getting dunked on. I was getting destroyed. All these dudes were just way more athletic, way more taller. I was getting trashed. I was getting trashed so bad that I walked over. I looked at the gym teacher, and I said, "Can I play with the freshmen instead?" And, like, she was watching me get destroyed. She's like, "Yeah, go ahead." I went over. I was a sophomore junior. I was a junior playing against... Man, I schooled those kids. I schooled them. They had nothing on me. I was dunking on them. I would say dunking, like, you know, laying up and all that. As close to dunk as I can get. And I was sitting there. I was destroying them, trashing them, and I was like, you know what? If I was playing freshman basketball, I might be a top 5 player on that level. But reality is, that's just a level of competition. That's not the level that you need. Yeah, it's easy to sit here and say, well, I'm good because I was good in my local rec league. I used to go out and destroy guys every week. All right, what did you do outside your rec league? You know, some guys don't get the benefit of travel. I get that. But, like, how good are you? How good are you in terms of your game? How good are you on terms of how you play it? Because when you go out of town, when you start seeing the world, it's different. It hits differently. When I got into flag football 7 years ago, I was under the impression that flag football was just some sport that people played for fun. I thought this was a game that people just go out there and play. You know, we'd be going against guys who are janitors or gym teachers, those guys like that, or, you know, guys who work construction, you know, the guys who, this is what they do, but, you know, sometimes they go out and play, and that's all they do. And I thought we were coming in at flag, I was like, yeah, we're going to go out and beat them because we got all these young guys who, we tore it up in backyard football. We had a good backyard football team. Like, legit. We had a bunch of dudes come together. We were good. We had a lot of guys who I thought could play. And when we got into 9-man in 2014, with all these backyard football players and high school football burnouts who didn't even play varsity level, I thought, we got to come in here and dominate this league, because when I got there, all Miller Lite had were a bunch of old fat guys. And they all looked like they were in their 30s, man. I was like, are you kidding me? This is our competition? This is the league champion? These guys can't be shit. Like, we had been practicing well. We had these fast dudes. We were young. Like, the ages of us were between 17 and 24. And the majority, the average, I'd say, was 19 was the age of our team. And so, like, we were the best in the backyard. Some of us were the best playing against each other, you know. Those games down in West Virginia way back, some of you may remember those pickup tackle games they played down over at the school, like Mill Creek Intermediate. That's where we had the first survivors practice. That's where we all recruited from, was the backyard of West Virginia and Maryland, because we thought, you know, these guys are good football players. We can go out here and run this 9-man stuff, because look at the guys we're facing. Miller Lite, a bunch of old dudes in their 30s. Look at that guy. I remember we looked at Tom and we were like, that guy can't keep up. Nah, he ain't got nothing. And then we looked over and saw Red Knights a few weeks later. We're like, that's their quarterback? When we saw Andy, none of us realized that he was the quarterback. We're like, oh, we should be able to handle this. I thought, you know, these teams can't be anything. We got more speed. We got a lot of talent. Like, I don't know if they're on our level. I think we can come in here and run it. Miller Lite beat us 32-6 in our first game. Red Knights were up 21-0 within the first 2 plays on offense in the first game we played them. We got our ass beat. And we got our ass beat bad. So bad that guys quit early on, you know. We had this guy. His name was Nick. He was really talented, really young. We thought he was a legit stud. Like, oh, you can put this guy at receiver. The way we thought he was is how we view Justin Fox. I thought he would be that kind of player. That really fast, skilled guy who you can line up in the slot, line up at quarterback, the do-it-all athlete. We put him out there that first game against Miller Lite, and it was on a punt. He had played quarterback, he started, and I felt bad. He was 17, he was a young kid. He punted, ball went, and it was returned, and on the return, he got leveled on a block. He got leveled, he looked up at the sideline after he got hit, and he looks at us and says, "Why didn't you tell me he was coming?" And yeah, that was it. A couple weeks later, he was off the team. He left, straight up. We thought he was good. We thought this guy could come in here and run the league. But he quit just like that. Gone. Within a blink of the eye. Just like that. That first season, we had guys who we looked at. And, don't get me wrong, there's guys on that first Survivors team who I feel like they kept playing flag. I think they would have been one of the better guys locally. And, some of us did travel. And, I saw the difference the first time for me in county. Seeing how X-Dogs were ran. Seeing how Miller Lite was. The Red Knights were. And then comparing us growth-wise to Ruckus and Nighthawks. I remember Ruckus got here. They were nothing but a bunch of skinny white dudes is all we saw. And we were like, oh man, we got some big linemen. We just run through these guys. We should be able to beat them. They ain't nothing. They came out, they ran option left, option right. We couldn't guard them. We couldn't stop it. We had no discipline on defense. But it's like, how are we so bad? We have all this speed and talent and all this. Because the game's above us. Our ceiling was backyard football. That was as high as we can go. And backyard football, half the time you face somebody, yeah, they might be going balls to the wall playing. Half the guys there, though, they don't give a fuck. This is just their way of getting bumped. It's different. There's levels. We came out and thought we thought Nighthawks were going to be the next big thing. We all thought Nighthawks were going to come in and take down Red Knights and Miller Lite and X-Dogs. Because we looked at them and we're like, these guys got some monsters in the trenches. We got some athletes all over. Like, how's this team not going to win? How can they not win on that level when you have all that talent? They lacked the things needed to win. They fell short against Red Knights in the semis and didn't come back from that. Nighthawks were essentially gone by the next fall. They later evolved to the program. But, we thought the same with program. I always thought at some point program was going to win a championship. I thought, they can get on that level. Like because they were good. Don't get me wrong. I thought program was a good team. They actually had a winning record when they were done. And, they gave some teams some tough bump when they went out in the circuit for the little bit they were out there. They had a really good game with Team Petty in Charm City. Like, they showed they could be good. It's just they weren't great. But the problem was with being good is this. You could say, I'm good, all you want. The problem is too many guys say, oh, I'm good. Yeah, I'm good. I'm the most dominant center in third grade basketball at co-ed Pleasant Valley Elementary School. I just dunked on this girl. I'm good. She can't guard me. This dude over here, he can't guard me. They all trash. I'm the best. I'm good. And then you go next level and you get your ass handed to you. Some guys just aren't built for it. Some of them just can't get to that level. And it's usually a matter of both team, collective, and the individual. Because you got to think, the best kind of team is one where everybody has the same goal, the same idea, the same end game. If your guys are half thinking about tomorrow's game and half thinking about getting plastered tonight, chances are you're not going to get the best out of all of them. And that whole collective drags the whole team down. Because suddenly, this guy ain't doing his job. But yeah, he was good. He's good. He gets back there and pulls flags. And, this guy could catch the ball. But are they great? Yeah, we go 4-4 every year in the league play, but we're good. You're 4-4 every year. You're doing the same thing. You're stagnating. You're going 500. And I feel like a lot of people, and it's all about the person. What are you in this game for? I recommend some leagues to some people and others to not. I always say KFFL is where you want to go to if you're just trying to either A, get started in this game, or B, if you're just trying to get some extra work, or even C, if you want to develop yourself. Because there's those three kinds of players. In the beginning, Washington County was a good home for a lot of us. We learned a lot in county. But, a lot of us, we're still in county. At least they are. I'm not. But, some of us went on and traveled. We saw what we could do. There was that period where we did have 7 teams on the circuit. We had 7 teams in Ocean City. That was 3 years ago. Problem was, a lot of them came down little bare boned. Some came down, weren't ready for it. And, it's different. There's levels to it. You can sit there and say, well, we won our league all these years. But how good was the competition? Who were you playing? What was going on? And I feel like in this flag game, there's way too many guys who they settle on, I'm good. Well, I led the league in receiving last year. Okay? I'm good. And I think a lot of guys, they coast on reputations of, well, they're good. I noticed a lot of guys, they get votes every year in polls and stuff like that I put up for awards. And the argument I keep hearing, well, he's pretty good. Okay. What did he do this year? Oh, he played 2 games and had about 4 receptions. Is he still good? It doesn't seem like that's not really a measurement, how good is he? How is he compared to the next guy? How is he against certain competition? There's levels to this. And I saw the next level when I went out in Virginia Beach 2015. Because, Andy was sitting around. He hit up me and Danny Longerbeam and Daniel Taylor, because all 3 of us were in charge of survivors during that time. And he asked, hey, can you get us some linemen? And Danny couldn't come down, so I got Paul Shade and Alan Roberts and Lee Donovan. And we didn't realize it, but they were low enough that Andy even had me on the team. And I'll be honest, in my flag career, the most snaps I played for a team was with the Red Knights in that tournament. I played over 30 snaps in that tournament. That's more than I played my whole career in county. And I got a taste for what that circuit ball was really like. Because we weren't playing some joke bullshit team. We played BC. We played the Blue Chargers. I remember Andy sitting at Buffalo Wild Wings. He's talking like, yeah, we got to face Mike D. And we're all looking and we're like, yeah, Mike D. That guy. Because we don't know. I don't know his level. We don't know how good he is. Oh, okay, this guy, Mike D, cool. 6 years later, Mike D's a fucking national champion quarterback. That was my first circuit game. And it wasn't even just BC. We played Rideout. We didn't play, and I saw how different it was from county. All of us saw it. Me, Paul, Alan, and Lee were all raving about the circuit when we came back. That was one of the first things we talked about when we had our first team meeting for the fall was, holy shit, this is what's out there. We need to, if we're going to step up our game, we got to get to this level. We saw what it takes to actually win. It's more than just going in and winning your hometown league. But it all depends on what you're going to get out of it. Is your hometown league? Are you going to travel? If you're willing to travel, cool, more power to you. I think everybody should travel. I think every player should do at least one circuit tournament in their life. Just one minimum, just to see what the competition is like, just to see what it takes to play the game. And I think players who are new to the game should travel within their first year, because of the fact that, in my opinion, the only way you know if you're going to like this game or not is by getting out there and seeing what it is. I went out to Virginia Beach in 2015. Didn't think I was coming back to county in the fall. I'll be honest. I'll be straight up. I was supposed to go to UMD. I wasn't supposed to come back. There was supposed to be no Joey in county that fall. I told Daniel I was done with Survivors. I wished him and Danny luck. I moved on. And then I went to the circuit with Paul, Allen, and Lee. And all four of us were just like, we got to get out here more. We got to travel. Holy shit, this is where it's at. These are the levels. This is what the game is. And I came back that next fall. I didn't travel for a while because I just didn't have the money to travel. And then but I saw that day in Virginia Beach that weekend, like, what it takes to truly win on that kind of level. And, flag football, it's evolved beyond that level since. I've seen this grow significantly. Like, we're at a point where it used to be there was one league. You just play it, one championship, and then next day and that's how it was settled. Then it was one championship, it was one day, everybody play, and then split the next day, top half go to A, bottom half go to B. And then it became A bracket, B bracket. The pro comp designation. Pro teams, it's different on that A level. Like, while I was in Virginia Beach, I don't think the A ball at that time period can measure up to where it was when I got a better taste for it at Charm City Classic 2019. Because, Charm City, I got to see Punishers. I got to see Main Event. I saw Gladiators. I saw Strong Island. Like, that to me was like the first real taste of actual A-ball I had. And it's just different. It takes a certain player to do it. It takes a certain team to do it. Like, some people don't understand. The guys you start with are not always or never are the guys you're going to finish with. Because things change over time. Goals change. Life changes. Players change. I've seen that firsthand. A lot of teams go from being, these are me and my friends, to, by the end of it, usually just you and maybe one or two others left. Ruckus in 2014 is not the same Ruckus in 2021. Yeah, Dustin's there, but it's not the same team as it was. It's not the same group of guys that we faced off against in week 2 of that 2014 season. Teams evolve. Teams change. And you know what? It benefited Ruckus, in my opinion. It benefited Ruckus. They went out and got better the more they got out of their comfort zone. Now, I'm not going to say they lit the circuit on fire, but if you look back at those 3 teams, Ruckus, Nighthawks, Survivors, Ruckus was the one who ended up being a traveling team within a couple years. And they did that by stepping out of their comfort zone. They realized that some of the guys they had were going to get them to a certain point. And that others, they can get them beyond a certain point. The thing is, you've got to evolve your roster over time. I go back to something my dad told me that he struggled with as a football coach when he coached flag back in the 90s. Because when he started out, him and I had the same exact beginning. We just put together a bunch of guys who we played backyard football with and said, let's make a team out of it. Let's see. Because, we could do tackle, but semi-pro is not worth the money. It really isn't for me. I don't have that money to spend, nor do I care to do it. But we saw flag as an opportunity because 9-man was the closest thing you could get to pads. And, you know, my dad and I had those similar beginnings. His original team was his friends from our neighborhood and that he worked with, and local athletes that he had, guys he knew. They were all from the same area, literally. And they got up there and, you know, they didn't, I'm not going to say they lit the world on fire. They had some good times. They got to second place one year. But as time went on, like, the problem was there was gaps in talent. Like, that's another vet text message. I apologize. You know, they got to states one year, Maryland States. They went and played against the Chiefs out there. And if you go back and watch it, that whole game's on YouTube. You can see, I think that kind of affected him too, was like seeing what was out there when he took them out to travel. Like, if you watch that game, like, compared to the first two tapes I have on them, where they're playing two teams really well and end up beating them both, they get throttled. They are overmatched in the trenches for somewhat. They're not fast enough. They don't have the guys to compete. Like, it's like kind of watching them play against an ADR-like team, and they get manhandled and destroyed. And, you know, that's something my dad realized, like, while he does have some guys who he can build with, to go with a team, you got to keep adjusting your roster. You got to keep holding guys accountable. You got to have standards. And, you know, as cool it is to have friends, this is a business in the end, because we're all putting an investment in this. If I want to compete, if I were to get back into running a team, I'll be honest, if they ever had a C bracket, I would do C bracket to start out again. Why? Because I'd rather go out there, play the game at its minimal, to develop some talent and grow over time, because I like to see a long-term thing with it, you know? Like, it is cool to see best of the best, but, you know, when you're first starting out, get a feel for the game, see what's out there. Because some of your guys may sit there and say, well, I like to compete on a go out there, we're going to play, and that's it level. Some guys want to be in the gym 5 days a week. Some guys are in the gym every day. Some guys are willing to go travel as far away as they can. And, you know, it's all about what you want and what they want. And as a collective, you got to have similar goals. That's a bottom line. If you don't have similar goals or ideals or standards for how you hold yourself, it will come back and hurt the team. You can't have one guy who plays DB that's going out there, he's exercising, he's putting in work, he's chasing after the receiver if he misses on coverage, and then you can't have the other guy who rolls up 5 minutes before kickoff, needs a cigarette beforehand, and goes out there and gets burned and complains. There's a difference. Because you can't have one extreme or the other, and then the other guy. You got to hold everybody accountable. And I feel like a lot of teams, early on, their whole idea is, we're just going to go out there and start a team and see who jumps in. Like, no, you got to see what's out there. Take a look. I don't recommend anybody to join in from 9-man flag without any basis of a team. Like I always say, like, the best way to go is to play this game first. Go out there, play it, learn it, make your own style of it, and run with it. Because there's levels to this. You could be the third grade co-ed basketball king center. Or you can go out there and have an NBA career. Just because you're good doesn't mean you're great. And you can I'm good yourself all you want. You keep talking about, well, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. But eventually, if you don't grow, people just come past you. People come out. They will exceed you. You keep saying you're good, but just because you're good, it don't mean you're great. I'm just saying. There's a level to this. You could choose to either make this part of your life, make this all of your life, or make this something you just do on Saturday mornings because your friend from high school called and says he needs someone to play receiver that day. It's up to you. What do you want to do? I'm Joey Blaze. Leave some love in the comments. I'll see you all soon.